Welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Shaps.
And today we have a very special guest today. We have all the way straight from Denver, Colorado, imported Blythe.
Woo! So I do have one thing to say.
What do you have to say?
Cut. She needs to do the same thing.
Oh, she needs to clap too. Sorry.
Yes, you both need to clap at the same time.
Okay. Well, I'll just pretend. Go ahead. Same time you said?
Same time.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. All right. Now that we got that out the way, pleasantries. Tell me about your day, Shaps. You have a good day getting over here?
What?
I'm upset you got here on time, which is very uncharacteristic of you.
Why are you saying that? Why do you have to tell everyone that?
Because we finished Harry Potter.
No one knew. Yeah, I finished it today, and I was like, so I got up super early today because I saw that I had like 5 hours left on my Audible. I got up at 6 in the morning. I just started playing it immediately. So I've been listening to it all day.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It's been great.
Awesome.
And then I came straight here.
What are you up to today, Blythe? How's it been? How's it hanging?
It's been good. I love Texas.
You do?
Happy to be here.
I'm sorry. We need to be. I got up today, realized I love Texas, came straight here. She can't
That's
be more.
right.
I'm sorry. You can't be more patriotic.
No,
than
I
me.
cannot.
It's a rule.
How is that more American? I don't know, but it somehow is.
Loving Texas is always patriotic.
Do they have Whataburger in Colorado, Blythe?
Is that where you're from?
Yes.
Okay,
from
cool.
Colorado. I don't think we do.
Hold on. I just said imported straight from. What do you think I was saying?
I thought you were just word vomiting like normal, you know?
That's hurtful.
No,
Okay.
it's true.
I'm sorry.
It's true.
What'd you say? I forgot.
I don't think we have Whataburger, and
Oh, shoot. Really? Not at all?
not one that I've ever indulged in.
I don't think I'd miss it that much if I didn't have it, to be honest.
Let's get closer to you.
As I was saying, I don't think I'd miss it that much if I didn't have it anymore.
What's wrong
to
with
be
you?
honest, nothing's wrong with me. It's just that I wasn't like born here, so it's not in my blood.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's one we could do away with.
It's the same. I feel the same way about In-N-Out. Like I like In-N-Out, but like
Agreed.
if it's gone,
Okay. I mean,
right?
there's like a list for two evils here. I don't know which lane to take. Like, I want to get mad for you saying Whataburger doesn't need to exist.
Yeah.
But In-N-Out, that's fine. I can live with that. So
I'm right in the middle. Yep.
Well, what does Colorado have that Texas doesn't have restaurant wise? I'm curious. Weed doesn't count.
Nothing. We have some dispensaries. Nothing really. I feel like Texas has everything that Denver does.
Nothing at all.
I mean,
Nothing like
I don't think you've been to every
fast food restaurant that Texas doesn't already have.
do they have
Major
Mickey
chains.
D's?
They do.
Oh my
We
gosh!
do. We have Taco Bell.
No.
Communism.
It's called socialism.
Favorite form of communism.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Well,
If you haven't figured out the theme for this episode today, but red.
communism,
Yeah, red.
awesome.
Anyway, so we had a weird request today, Shaps, honestly, for the discussion topic.
Yeah.
I was really shocked. Blythe wants to talk about Lost, the old TV show.
Oh.
Okay, so
How old is everyone at this table?
for real, I was going to say, Blythe, so were you watching Lost in diapers in between runs of Danny Phantom?
Because I'm like, that's exactly the time period.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I remember hearing my parents talk about Lost when I was watching, exactly what you said. So very curious. Were you a watcher from the very beginning, or did you kind of get into it
Oh,
afterwards?
it did come out in 2004.
Yeah.
Was when it first aired, and I was probably very young at that
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yeah.
So
Goo goo.
I did start watching it in like college or something like that, and I fell
Okay.
in love with it because it is the most remarkable storyline. It just is.
Remarkable.
Wait,
Now
most
remarkable is a word.
remarkable.
It is
Most
okay. Remarkable is a word I would use to describe it, but not for the same. It gets remarkable
So,
later.
okay. Just preference. I don't know how well you know Caleb, but he is like the show's cynic. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a very likable person. Ask anyone in our comment section. It's beautiful.
Have you seen Lost?
Yes, actually, same time as you, I picked a time in college to kind of catch up on it. So for me, being homeschooled, we had the TV and that's it. What are you clapping for?
Homeschoolism.
Good job. Yes. Look at you. You're so special. You're so special.
Anyway, so no, we watched it growing up, and I got to like season 2, and then we downsized our house to something way smaller, a hotel room, and it started airing at the same days that we had to go to church for children's church, like on a Wednesday or something. So I actually couldn't catch it until later, and then I would catch like a few episodes as the seasons were going on. I had no idea what was going on. In college, same as you, I decided I'm going to hunker down and watch it. And for a while, it was pretty freaking good. I ain't going to lie to you. So why you give me a look?
Yes, it was
He said
pretty good.
He said the for a while part.
Yeah.
When did
And
that end for you?
well, let's not even way before the ending. Okay. The ending's like the icing, the cherry on top of the ice cream cake that's like half melted.
How many seasons are there? 9?
No,
Oh,
six.
yeah.
Six.
Oh, okay,
Six
gotcha.
seasons.
Okay, it's like Breaking Bad.
The first 3 seasons are phenomenal. I will say. It gets good right up until Jack says we need to go back to the island. That's about the good cutoff drop off point. Are you okay?
Spoiler.
Oh my God, they go to an island?
The show's been out for like 20 years now.
Right.
You understand? We're old now. That would have been a valid complaint 19 years ago.
Spoiler. Okay.
Okay.
No, there's credit to what she's saying. Okay,
Yeah.
there are some things like, for instance, Harry Potter. Right now, I've never been spoiled with Harry Potter, and I would be really mad right now if someone were to spoil everything for
There's
me.
some
after
kid-
putting in so many hours,
Okay.
Yes,
reading
exactly.
everything. Yeah,
So-
I'm just like,
So there's a kid right now watching our show who's
Yeah.
like really mad because he's just subbed and we spoiled Lost for him. And he was waiting until he was TV 17 to start watching it. And we just killed it.
I
for
remember
him.
when I turned TV 17. I think I watched SpongeBob or something.
Okay, hold on. Sidetrack real quick. You brought up an interesting topic. What was your first R-rated movie that you could go to being of age, buying a ticket and seeing yourself?
Like in the movie theater or like at my
Oh, yeah.
house?
At the house doesn't count. You can steal your parents' card and put their information in. You had to go
In
back
the
in the day.
movie theater?
Back in the day, they checked IDs, bro. When my first one, was,
I mean, I was never checked for ID. My sister was. I think we saw. This is funny because it was so much longer or further. So I was 19 at the time.
19.
19. I didn't. I was a good boy. I waited until I was 19. You know.
When did your parents quit spanking you? That's what I don't know. 15?
Okay. Sidetrack. I was actually such a quote unquote good child that like if I did something wrong and my parents didn't find out, I would put myself in timeout.
You told me that.
Yeah.
I'm still ashamed of you.
So anyway, I think it was chapter 1. Me and my sister went through, and she got ID'd. You know, she's like 3 years older than me. So like, yeah, I think that was the first time, but I didn't get ID'd. She did. So
Right.
I don't think I was ever checked or anything, but probably the first R-rated movie that we spent money on. First R-rated movie I've ever seen, probably Glory, and I watched that movie when I was probably like, I don't know, 13, but I was okay to watch it because it was history. And everything educational is fine. It doesn't scar. It doesn't scar you if it's historically accurate.
That's true. It
apparently.
Actually happened.
So
Have you
so
seen
I-
All Quiet on the Western Front?
So I watched that movie probably like I don't know 25 times, just like crazy
Oh
amounts.
goodness.
Yeah. I as a kid, it's weird. I really didn't like death, but at the same time, I was very morbidly curious. So it was like a weird combination, you know.
You know, most people, Shaps, are curious about their sexuality, but you're like, no, I want to know about death.
Not me. No, I wanted to know what caliber of rifle you need, you know, to take someone's head off literally, you know, instead of figuratively.
Shaps, I need to know if I can come to school tomorrow.
I was homeschooled.
Oh, okay. So I'm good. Were you homeschooled too?
I was.
All right.
Okay, everyone clap
the
for the
enthusiasm.
Hold
homeschool.
on, we have a button for this.
We need a button for that.
No, we have a button for applause.
The one.
What do we need a button for? The homeschool?
It'd be no, it's just just one person way back in the corner clapping, like,
We can make one after this is over.
representing your school.
Our one fan, the one fan that tunes in every week. Okay, my first R-rated film was Ted, and back then they checked IDs. GameStop, if you went to
that's a good one to go to for an R-rated for your first R-rated movie.
yeah, I had to talk my dad into it too because I was still under his house and he wasn't gonna let me do it.
Oh sure.
But I managed to convince him, and afterwards he made me tell him what was in it. And I was like, yes, Dad, there were boobs in it. Yes, there were F words. I'm so sorry. I had to, it's almost like a confession.
You see, we didn't get away with that because, like, do you know what plugged in is? I don't know if you know this whole thing. Yeah, my parents would.
I don't. I'm sorry. For the dumb people,
So it's
I'm asking
a
for a friend.
It is for dumb people, actually. Dumb Christian people. So essentially, before we'd ever see a movie, we would have to go on Plugged In, which is just a website that talks about all the naughty things in the film, usually written by like Christians or Catholics or Presbyterians or whatever. and that would make it or break it essentially. If there was like one F-bomb or if there was like one GD or something like that, we would have to like argue our point. It would be like a little debate, like a court debate of like, well, honestly, Mom, Dad, I'm like 16 years old now. So like, if you think about the math, you know, like I was 12 when I first heard that word. So it's just like constantly debating. But I remember I hated that website so much because they would do it for movies, video games, TV shows, and I would always have to go to that. One time, I remember my first M-rated game that I bought was Skyrim, but I got for Christmas.
That's M?
Yeah, it's M-rated.
Oh.
Which is like stupid, right? I got Skyrim for Christmas because I was asking for it over and over and over and over again, and my mom made me return it the week after, even though she's the one who bought it for me because she read some plugged in review on it.
That's horrible.
It's okay because next year I got Black Flag.
Okay. Well, I guess that works.
Made up for it, but still, I was like, why would you do that to me?
Yeah. So, Blythe,
I was so sad.
Do you have a first R-rated movie experience?
The first one that I saw was Zombieland,
Oh, no, that's a good one.
but I don't think it was in theaters.
That's if it's not in theaters, like that's like fun to go with friends too.
Yeah.
So
I don't know that I don't remember a specific. I think I was much older than like 17 or 18.
Okay.
Like,
So
I think
it could have
it's
been like
years.
I don't know, John Wick or something maybe.
I think it was some like horror movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Just some horror
Yeah.
film.
those are
Irrelevant.
those
Yeah.
are cheap. You see, those are like I don't want to say it now.
Say
It's
it.
too.
Yeah, it's too late. You got me intrigued.
They're like the
My
horror
ears are
movies
perked
are
up.
like the prostitutes of R-rated movies.
How dare you?
Because it's like
'Cause they're
that is
cheap.
very cheap. You know, just like
But
you
they
don't
turn a
feel-
profit.
They turn a profit, but like you don't feel good about yourself
no
after it. You don't remember it half the time.
That's not true.
You can't remember if it was like Insidious or Paranormal.
They're all the same.
They're all the
They're all
same.
the
They're
same.
all the same.
How
But
dare you people?
No, I've definitely outgrown my scary movie era.
Oh, I have not. I want too many tattoos where I want like the horror movie collage and then I want the skull things. I don't know.
So
I'm gonna run out of arm space.
Like 30 years from now, how are you going to explain Ghostface to your grandkids?
Oh,
40
Ghostface.
years
Ghostface. I thought you meant the other one. The one that gets people canceled.
Oh my gosh, dude. Maybe we need to talk about something else.
I'm sorry. My mind went
So
there. For some
okay,
reason.
little Johnny is like, "What's that, Grandpa?" And it's like this very old, like kind of fading ghost face tattoo that you got like 30 or 40 years ago. What are you gonna say to him? That it was an era?
Let's move on. I don't like that question.
That's why I hate tattoos, dude. Because I know whenever I get my tattoo, I know it needs to make sense, like at all points.
Bro,
in
all my
life.
grandkids are gonna be sleeved out. I don't want to hear it. They're not gonna have questions. They're just gonna understand. They're just gonna look and know.
Did you know that Caleb and I have a matching tattoo?
No, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You saw my Facebook the other day, right? Or Instagram?
I'm not really on social.
I
media
was
that
like,
much.
and then she rolled her leg sleeve up, and I rolled down my arm sleeve, and then we just put them together and took a picture.
So you both consciously went to the tattoo
the same
artist
time,
on the same
years
time.
ago.
Yeah, we just
Said we
didn't know.
wanted matching tattoos, a friendship
see.
tattoo.
But we just didn't know each other yet. That was the crazy part. Was like we didn't even
Gotcha.
meet yet.
Yeah, that is a. Okay, I'm talking to the wrong people.
Yeah, let's say you're talking to tattoo enthusiasts. I don't think you can see her leg underneath all the tattoos. There's so many; they all run together. Big collage.
Gotcha.
So anyway, Lost. So let's get back to that.
Yeah.
Yes, as a kid, I had to come back to it as an adult, same as Blythe. And the first season, phenomenal. Mystery, intrigue. There's a monster going around killing people. What is going on?
Nice.
Season 2, oh my gosh, there were people already on the island. Holy cow. There's a polar bear. Yeah, there's a polar bear.
Dude.
Whoa. Okay, season 3. We're about to get wet. Do I need to take a break
I
here?
haven't seen it.
You're not going to watch it at this
You
point.
I never said I wasn't.
I don't think you are. It's been 20 years or so. Or
Okay.
so. Okay.
Or
Sorry.
this episode will get you intrigued enough to dive
Yeah.
in.
I don't know if polar bear makes me intrigued. You're
Well,
gonna
why
have
is
to
there a polar bear on a tropical island?
Yeah. With the monster going around.
Smoke monster.
Gotcha.
Oh, that is a spoiler. You don't know that till season 3.
Wow.
I know you've heard this before, Shap. Sorry, someone's calling again. Okay. I get somebody calls when I'm busy. So anyway, okay, season 3, things are they're ramping up. Okay,
Yeah.
people have joined forces We're about to get rescued. Hold on, our rescuers don't know. They have ulterior motives. They're not here to rescue us. They have their own agenda.
Yeah.
Season 4, we have to go back to the island that we just got out of. And I'm like, oh.
But you got to dive into the why.
So wait, like they go back to research it, or like what do they go? What's their motivation? Just
Okay, well, here's the thing. We never actually find out why. That's
are
the
you
thing.
sure?
Yeah.
I disagree with that.
Is that
I
a
think you-
Calebism right there?
No.
Or-
Here's the problem. By that time, I don't know if it was season 5 or 6. That's when that writer's strike, the first one, maybe not the first one, but they had a writer's
That
strike.
was during season 4.
4, yeah. So 4 onward, they never recovered. So then you get to season 6. Well, then you get to season 6, and then characters are like, yeah, I just did a thing because I wanted to. And like instead of a really good build up and a good explanation to something, the guy's like, I did it. Those are just some names on the wall, you know. Don't
All
worry
right,
about
defense, go.
You have to dive. You have to.
that. I will. I'm just saying, like the writing got Game of Thrones like bad explanation
There
wise.
there is a stark difference between 1, 2, 3, and 4,
Yeah.
and 5 and 6. However, the 5 and 6 really do come back and redeem the first half. You have to dive into it. There's so much.
Okay, so season 4 is only like 5 episodes or something.
Yeah.
It's really
Oh,
short.
really?
Very short.
Yeah, so season 4 only spoilers, guys. Sorry. Season 4 only 5 people got off the island.
Okay.
Okay, and so the island that they escaped from disappeared. For some reason, the island's really mad that 5 people left. So the 5 people that escaped, their lives suck, and they realize like we have to go back to the island. Can you remind me why? It's been like 10 years.
They have a greater calling. They feel as if they have a purpose back there, and the island is
calling them back. Yeah.
basically.
Gotcha.
And making their lives back in normal life really, really miserable.
I see.
Yeah, like their life sucks. Like it's bad.
So is it like Squid Game where they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta keep playing the
Very
game?
similar.
Okay.
Very similar. I
Makes
like
sense.
that.
You
Yes.
enthusiasts make me sick.
Enthusiast. I've never seen that show.
You're defending a show you've never seen.
I think everyone deserves a fair shot. Every show writer, everyone, deserves that person in their corner fighting against all the Calebs out there who are like, you took time away from me. Your show is too short, or you have no good reason to go back to the island. I've heard that 500 times.
They had a very good reason to go back to the island.
So season 4, really short.
Yeah.
I was surprised when it was done. They decided we got to go back to the island.
Okay.
They don't make it back that season though, right? They just
Wait.
decide.
They don't, but
They
oh my
talk
goodness.
about going, but they don't actually go.
They don't
back.
act
They won't
correct.
get back.
Okay, that hurts a little bit.
We don't actually get
It's
there
5
that
episodes
season.
of talking about it. Mm.
It's a build-up, guys.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds like George Lucas prequel stuff right there.
We'll get used to 2 more seasons of quote unquote build up.
Is part of the build up like some sort of weird love triangle? I bet you there's a love triangle.
Oh, actually, there's a love triangle going on the entire series.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Multiple.
Now-
I think there's it's like a love octagon.
Oof.
Let's not. No, let me say though, the girl character Kate, the actual female lead,
Yeah.
they did butcher her by the end of it. No, she was. Here's why. She, for no reason, that's the love triangle part. She's in love with Jack, the main guy, but she's also in love with Sawyer. And the whole show, I swear, back and forth. She gets in a fight with Sawyer, goes back to Jack. Jack realizes he needs to lead, and he can't focus on women. Back to Sawyer, back and forth, the whole show.
Yeah.
And even by season 5, there's literally a scene where she gets in a fight with Jack, goes to Sawyer. Sawyer's like, I'm tired of this. I don't want you anymore. And then she just goes back to Jack. And it's all in like the span of like 3 scenes. So by the end, like Kate actually got kind of worthless. Season 1, she was good. She was tracking and she was helping. And then they just kind of forgot about her. And we're like, I don't know what to do. So we'll have it where she fights with both characters.
She was an accessary.
There you
The
go.
plot line.
Nobody wants to be an accessory.
I don't know if
plotline.
that's a compliment.
It's not.
I was going to say, Shaps, you're an accessory to this show. Okay.
I'm the accessory.
And
to
Ouch.
the show.
you see how mad that makes you? So bad character. You know what I mean? All right.
Yeah, not a fan of those characters. Honestly,
Yeah.
I hate it when typically it happens to female characters when they're reduced to just the love interest for
Yeah.
the 3 male leads or whatever. I'm just like, just write her out of the show or just make her interesting.
Kill
or
her off.
something.
They killed off a better character. What's her name? Last name Rodriguez. She's like the real tough.
cop?
The cop girl.
Yeah.
What's her actual name? I
Ana
forgot.
Lucia.
Yeah. Anyway, that's her character name.
Oh,
but
I remember them.
It's like when Pam from The Office gets independent for 5 minutes. Like that was good.
yeah.
Wish it last a little longer, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to not really focus on the storyline and the holes in the storyline, but the moments of good and evil that are sprinkled out like throughout.
Well, here's a problem that I
Okay,
found.
so yeah, that's fan talk right there, which
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah, that's totally
Well, I'm
fine.
not
That's why you're
saying
here. That's why you're here. Okay. But let me say, so season 4, we got to go back to the island. They don't, but they talk about we're gonna do it. Everybody's here. Everyone's on board because nobody wants to go back. Actually, just the main guy. Then he convinces them all they need to go back.
Cool.
Season 5, they get back. I remember how it just but they made it. Also, the island moves around on them. They don't really explain that, but it does. The island moves around.
I'm assuming the island is sentient.
Oh, I wish they dove into that, but they don't. So
Okay, but maybe there's some mystery there
yeah,
for a
you
reason.
can assume.
and that's where I have
That
problems.
looked so painful for you.
That's where I have problems where fans are just like, just let it go. Just let it go.
Okay, but what's your stance on like elements of a story that are ambiguous up to interpretation? What is, in your opinion, what's like a good form of that, and what's a bad form of that?
The problem I had was the first 3 seasons. It's setting up mysteries that there should be a payoff to. That's the thing. Mystery. Why are there ghosts on the island? What is the monster? What's this polar bear doing here? The polar bear is one scene, but it's like a meme in a way.
All right.
And you're expecting like really good explanations to some of these. Why are there people already on the island? So there's. There's like several groups on the island already. There's people that plane crashed. There's people that were on the island already and they were doing research. But then there's another group that they don't explain.
Yeah.
They don't explain. But the other group where they were there since like prehistoric times, there's statues to like Egyptian gods built there. They don't explain that. But then they also established that like a pirate ship crashed on the island at one point, and that's where one of the guys that was there in prehistoric times was on. They don't really go into it. You know
It
what I
just
mean?
sounds like a bunch of people had like
Yeah.
5 or 6 D&D games.
Right,
Just like-
right. But I'm saying like that, and that's where the writer strike came in and kind of like really just kind of messed stuff up. Stuff that really should have been explained never got an explanation.
Well, so did this show not have a consistent writer the entire time?
I don't believe so, but I'd have to actually do more research on that.
Because if it did, that
Yeah,
could be
sure.
something.
And there's a scene. So I guess is he the spirit of the island, Jacob? Like who? Like he's like one. He's the island essentially in human form. But imagine the Trinity: the island being Father God, Jacob being the Son, and I don't know, something Smoke Monster being the Holy Spirit. I don't know. But anyway, just kidding. Smoke Monster is a different character. So anyway, Jacob, they find like a cave that he's been hiding in. He's the island essentially. He's the spirit of it, and they find everyone's names on the wall in the cave, right? And there was like, what does this mean? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what this means. How our names are already here, right? And so then they meet Jacob, the guy that's like the island essentially, and they say, hey, can you explain the names? And so what they established was Jacob was trying to figure out who was going to take his place, right? Someone's got to be the new spirit of the island. Well, they asked him, one of the person's names who wasn't on the, let's see, one of the characters whose name wasn't already in the cave was like, how come my name's not on there? Well, he just goes, don't worry about that. Those are just some names scratched on the wall. You can have the job if you want. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. That sounds like they changed what they initially had planned. It sounds like they had a plan for each name and why, blah, blah. But he's just like, don't worry about that. That's just some names we scribbled up in season 2.
Maybe the people whose names were written couldn't be.
No, because he gave the job to everybody, like anyone who wanted it. At the end of the show, the character Jacob, he's like, who wants the job? Anybody? Any hands? Nobody? No? Okay.
And that's because his successors that he was setting up kept failing him and like were proving themselves. In my opinion, I do think that there's a lot that is left up to interpretation, which I like about it.
Oh. Well, no,
He's like, I like
you
Black
say you say that, but so he was building up Jack, he was building up all these characters. Well, the main guy ends up inheriting the island. So you saying like, well, they were failing him, like, well, no, he still got the job, like Jack, and then he dies at the end. Jack dies, and then they give it to the other guy, another character, the bigger guy, Hurley, and then he gets it at the end too. So I don't know. It's very inconsistent writing. I'd say at the very least, and there's still a lot. There's a lot of explanations that they rush to. The ghosts, they rush the ghost storyline. Like a character pulls one of the ghosts to the side. Before you couldn't talk to the ghost, but now suddenly you can. So he pulls one of the ghosts to the side and he's like, hey, ghost, let me get, why are y'all here? And instead of like us figuring out naturally over time, he just finally pulls one to the side and asks them, why are y'all here? And then they explain, well, actually, we're the spirits of people who couldn't go to heaven or hell, and we're just kind of stuck here. Okay. And he just walks away. I was like, okay, well, that's
I
it.
mean, it was an explanation.
I know, but like it was such a lazy like. Let's just resolve this real fast. Here, Ghost, come here. You know.
Okay, but what about the character development?
It was good for the first couple seasons. That's what I'm saying. The first couple seasons were phenomenal, and then everything's just so rushed, or mysteries were blown to the side. Like,
Okay,
You know.
I'm going to be that one guy online who's like,
We have
very
plenty of
snobby,
those.
very snobby, who's like, well, you see, it's because the answer would never be satisfying, so they gave a simplistic answer so that you could understand it. Your frustration was the writer's point, you see. It was all under his guise. There was no mystery.
yeah, and I'm willing to accept such a claim. So the show's been gone for 20 years now. Like, I don't see a reason to.
20 years.
Okay,
It wasn't that long ago.
20.
forgive me. I want to apologize.
I'm
in advance.
25.
And you were 5 when the show came out.
No. That's crazy.
No, but it is pretty old. I don't see any of those actors anymore, though. Really, the guy that plays
Very
Jack.
rarely.
I don't really know who I don't really know
Yeah.
who played in that.
I really like the guy that played Sawyer, and he's nowhere to be
Yes,
found anymore.
Yes, I
like,
love him.
yeah,
Josh Holloway.
Josh. There you go.
Wonderful
See, I didn't even
man.
know his name.
Yes.
Wonderful man. I
think-
met him in Vegas. We spent that wonderful night in
cool.
Venice together.
All right. So from the perspective of someone who hasn't seen this show, usually what comes up to me, like if I haven't seen a show that's really popular, but I hear the ending was bad, that's usually enough to deter me from watching the entire show. Because like
Yeah.
I'm like, the payoff is the most important part to me. Like the show can even be like okay up until a certain point,
Yeah.
but if it pays off really well, then I want to watch the whole thing. You know, because like that's the last thing you're gonna be leaving with.
But don't you want to be the judge of if it ends well or not, and not let Caleb be the judge of that for you?
Thanks.
Caleb is definitely not the reason I'm not gonna watch Lost or anything.
you over. What's the word? You're giving me more credit than I actually deserve. Like nobody cares what I actually. think.
Don't take Caleb's word on a lot.
Right,
Like for instance, he
exactly.
said I was gonna hate Harry Potter,
I did not say that.
or you made it seem like I was.
We
gonna
have
hate it.
several episodes of me talking you into reading Harry Potter.
But you told me about certain books and moments that
That
I was
is
gonna
true.
hate. You said I was gonna hate Dobby and did not hate Dobby.
I did not say you were going to hate
Hates
Dobby.
He does. I know, right? Who hates Dobby?
House elf?
The worst house elf in existence.
Oh.
I actually like,
You
Creature.
better?
Okay, Creature. I do like Creature. But
Thank
we'll
you.
get into that.
Yeah, hold on. That episode's not shot yet.
Yeah.
We're getting ahead of the game here.
No, so basically, honestly,
Don't
it's not
finish
that
my sentences.
it's not that I form an opinion about a show. I'm like, I'm not going to say the show's bad or good if I haven't
Yeah.
seen it. However, I only have so much time on this earth. So
That
I'm
is
just
I
like-
agree with that.
Yeah.
And there's so many shows and so many
Well,
movies to watch.
I will say, for as much crap as I'm giving Lost, there's a part of me that kind of wants to revisit it.
I really think you should.
Yeah.
It was
We
upon
can-
revisiting that
Yeah.
I felt in love with it. The
You know what
first
we
time I
can do?
watched through it, it was like, it was a good, entertaining show. The
Yeah.
second time, I was like all in.
Mm-hmm.
You can connect all the spiritual and analogies, and I don't know. I like.
Well, I will say that there's a part of me that feels like I grew up with it in a sense, and that's why I kind of want to come back to it again and give it another watch. What are you gonna say, Shaps?
Well, yeah, sorry. I was going to say that what if we did like one episode per season? You know, we all
Of Lost?
We watched Lost. You know, we
All
did an
right, let's
episode.
finish Harry Potter first, and then I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I'd say that's doable.
What do you mean one episode? So you just watched the first episode of each season?
No. We watched a full season and then we do a podcast episode
okay.
talking
Invite me
about
back
it.
Talk
for
about
that.
this season. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Fantastic. All right, I'm in for that.
Yeah. So I will say, yeah. And it's not like Game of Thrones where the ending of Game of Thrones was so bad you don't want to watch the show again.
It was so blatantly obvious
Yeah.
that like there was no mystery to it. The creators were basically just like, yeah, we wanted to do Star Wars, and that's
Right,
why we weren't
right,
doing it
right.
this way. Like
So-
that's
yeah.
factual,
Right.
you know. So
Nobody
it's-
was happy that they didn't write a good ending for
It's
Lost.
almost objective. Like Game of Thrones ending is almost objectively bad, like because it wasn't written to be good.
Right.
Lost, I know a lot of like love went into it.
They
A
tried.
lot-
Yeah. And there, I mean, you can stop at the end of season 3 and be like, okay, that's an ending for the show.
Yeah.
Now there's more, and I told you how I feel about the more part. But like it is entertaining up until that season for me, and then I could stop there and be like, that was a good show, and then if you want to see how it ends, you can go back and finish it. But yeah, I mean, it is entertaining. You get a good solid 3 seasons before it goes down, and then be the judge of the last half, whether you like it or not. Like I said, nobody actually listens to me and cares about what I have to say.
Yeah.
But I still say what I want to say anyway, so it doesn't matter. Yeah.
The way it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love how
perfectly
we started
balanced.
off by saying no one's ever going to watch this show. We can spoil whatever we want, and then like towards the end of this, we're like, yeah, we should probably watch it again.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, you should.
You know what I will say? I didn't think anybody would ever watch this show, to be honest with you. And we're already, what, 210?
211.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Blythe. 211.
I mean, like, not like you subscribed like 5 seconds ago. Or
Yeah,
anything.
no. I was like, 210, guys. And she's like, check again. And I was like, oh.
He was like, oh, yeah, go.
Well, but since we've had very similar experiences in our lives, I wanted to bring up college again. You saw our shorts from last week's episode. At the time of this recording, it was last week, but we got a couple of things coming out before that. So, college, what was your college experience like? Regret it? Happy about it?
That's a great question.
How do you feel?
I was homeschooled and did
No.
dual enrollment.
Oh, hey, let's do that.
Let's
Yes,
back
slow
up.
Let's do the clap. Slow clap, everyone.
Let's back up a bit. Homeschool. Tell us about your homeschool experience. We did an episode on that too, and it's pretty funny.
Interesting.
Episode
I'm
3.
gonna have
Shout out to that
refer
one. Yeah.
I didn't, at the time, I didn't like it. I was more, I don't know. I felt like it was my parents' decision, and I did not have any say in it, which I didn't.
Consent.
Not at all. In fact, I fought very hard to go to some other school, whether it be public or private.
Okay.
And it never worked. So I was homeschooled my whole life. And then, but I was able to do dual enrollment in high school. So
Cool.
I graduated college early and got to move on with my life earlier
See,
than usual. So
They didn't have that when I was growing up. So all my siblings got to graduate high school with their associate's degree. And then that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
They didn't have that when I was a kid. I'm so jealous of that.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. I say disappointed. Like I really, at the time, I was like, man, that'd be so great. But oh well.
Yeah.
So, okay. What was your homeschool experience like? Did your parents actually teach you?
No.
Okay.
We were given, I'm one of 7. So it was, my mom was the educator, and she was spread thin between a preschooler and a senior in high schooler, and then every single grade in between, basically.
Yeah.
So she would give us curriculum and like to-dos for a semester, like you need to complete this Saxon math book by the end
Oh,
of the
Saxon. Yeah. We're all Saxon babies here. Right, Shaps. You did Saxon too, right?
Saxon?
Yeah, Saxon math.
I didn't do like, I did like digital homeschool.
You didn't do math.
I mean, they may have been Saxon. I'm not sure. Nor would I be celebrating if I did
When
Saxon. math.
when Bree was here, we did Saxon. Okay, we all talked about Saxon. Okay, yeah,
But she would give us like a textbook and be like, this needs to be completed by the end of the semester.
yeah.
So I was very much from about 4th grade on, like on my own. We would do like read alouds in the morning, then we'd all go separate ways.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was really thrown to the wolves because I'm not really a self-learner. Like I learn better in a classroom setting.
Yeah.
And sitting alone in my room, I tended just to sleep. So,
Well, that's the thing too. Up until a certain point, I had to do the math on my own, and I wasn't I learned this later in college. I'm not a good student, so as a kid, I'm even worse. So I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't able to keep up with it. My mom was having to work full time to pay for us to live, so she couldn't really teach us. But then, even then, to a certain point in math, she couldn't even teach me.
Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think I spend more time manipulating the system to cheat other than actually learning
yeah,
stuff.
I learned skills, but there were skills that are now considered unorthodox.
Some skills are valued by very particular people. For
Yeah.
very particular
Yeah.
set. Yeah.
very true.
So
Yeah.
okay. But you still got to get your associates when you were done, though.
Yes.
Did you switch to public school after, or no? You were
No, I went to the community college my last 2 years of high school, which
Okay.
I graduated high school early. So I
Nice.
was like 15, 16.
Really?
Went to
Oh my gosh!
I did it early
Community
too.
college.
I graduated beginning of 11th grade. Actually.
I'm the only stupid guy here.
No.
Yes.
Thanks, Chaps.
But then I went to JBU, John Brown University in Arkansas, and I was there for 2 years. And I studied psychology
Okay.
and realized there was far too much science involved. And from the lack of scientific education I've received, I was not fit for it. And
Pause.
so I...
It turned off. I didn't die.
Oh.
Just the screen shut off. I don't know if it would. No, it didn't keep recording.
It did or didn't?
It didn't. Does it shut off after 30 minutes?
Maybe, yeah.
That's what my Sony does.
Okay, then yeah, you can just keep recording it. Sorry, guys.
That's all good. Glad you caught it. I would have cried. This is the part. This is the good part. The juice, the meat.
Yes.
You don't know what panic
I've seen
looks
those
like.
eyes before.
Yeah. See. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's clap again. 3, 2, 1.
I
Perfect.
I don't know why I clapped, but I just.
Bro, that was so in sync.
I wanted to be part of that.
That was beautiful. Okay. Continue, Blythe.
So psychology at JBU, I transferred out because I wanted to study criminal justice.
What drew you to that?
I also wasn't a good student, and I was losing interest in my studies.
Okay.
So I needed something interesting enough to get me through the last portion of college.
Interesting enough. Okay.
Yeah. And it was very interesting. I transferred back to Colorado Christian University. I just finished my last year there, and I hated that. I should have never transferred. I'm not doing anything with my degree now, and I was quite miserable that last year of college. So
Oh goodness, miserable. So what was it like adjusting from college to college? Is that the part you had trouble with? Okay.
Well, it was hard because at JBU I was on campus living with friends, living the college experience.
Yeah.
When I moved back, I moved into a house with like Craigslist roommates, and they were all like 30. I was like 21. And
They released all women, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
they were all
cool.
women, but they were crazy. They were truly crazy. And I was just trying to get through my last year of school, but it was all online. Again, I don't really do well with
I don't either.
remote
Yeah.
learning.
Online classes really killed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were more expensive.
They're more expensive. What is up with that?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah.
So
I should have just stayed at JBU and finished out and gotten my degree in psychology. But I didn't, and it's fine.
If you're comfortable with it, I kind of want to hear what makes your roommates so crazy.
that's a good detour. Let's talk
Okay.
about that too.
Well, I'm so glad you asked. One time, this girl came, one of the girls was living there, and me and my other roommate came home separately, and we walk in, and she's like freaking out. And we're like, what's going on, dude? Like, everything okay? And she's like, you guys left the stove on, blah, 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 blah. I put my designer bag down, and I burnt a hole in my designer bag. And I'm like, okay, well, neither of us have been home for the whole day. Like
Also,
I
she
haven't-
admitted that she did it herself. So.
Yeah.
She put it on the. Did you not test it first? And she like freaked out, and we're like, "Oh, we're really sorry that happened, but it's not our like we haven't used the oven or the stove
Right.
today at all." And she wigged out. She started like throwing things. She threw her like pill bottles across the room, just wigging out.
Oh,
Oh, no.
pill
And, like,
bottles.
Yeah,
Huh?
like her bag is on fire, and me and my other roommate are like, "Oh, like let's
Yeah.
leave."
Let's go outside.
She's very accusatory, and then like just didn't get along with anybody. So we would get a new roommate in, and then she would pick something with them, and I'm like, oh my god. But yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah. So what is it like throwing your pills across the room, do you think?
it probably feels really good because when it hits the wall, it explodes.
And that makes
sounds
all that satisfying.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, is it like when there were a couple times in school where I was like, I can't do this, and I threw my homework down. And I was like, wait, actually, I need these. These are due, right? So do you do that with the pills where
Yeah.
you're like,
an
actually,
hour later, she's
yeah.
like picking them up.
This
off
is
the ground in
Thursday. This is
shame.
Wednesday. I was supposed to take this 2 hours ago.
But I got mad at my roommates
Yeah,
instead.
yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it was me. I turned the stove on.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see it happen.
I'm you from the future.
I heard about the pill throwing story. I had
gotta
to see it for
I gotta
myself.
see it.
I just picture if you're a time traveler and you went back just to see that, like the roommate's going crazy, and then Blythe and her roommate go outside to get away, and then they look over, there's just you in the bushes.
It was like
Yeah,
with binoculars.
yeah. Why would you? Bushes right next to them with binoculars. So what are you doing?
This is not what it looks like.
I'm holding them backwards. It's okay.
I'm here for the pills.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Okay, so do you think you would have done better in psychology, as in like you wish you finished that and kind of looked into those career fields, or?
I think so. I think that I would like to work with youth.
Yeah.
You don't really, you don't need a degree to work in like criminal justice.
Yeah.
Youth, what's it called? Juvenile.
Well, I was gonna
detention
say-
centers or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say did you watch that clip where I described a criminal justice degree? And I was like, I'm in law enforcement and it doesn't give me a pay raise.
Yes,
like
yes.
it's nothing.
It really truly does nothing
Yeah.
for those who are in or
Yeah.
outside of the
Yeah.
field.
And so with my old college, I talked to a career guy. I graduated 3 years. So 3 years from when I graduated, I called the career guy and I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking at switching degrees again." And I'd already graduated, but I was like, "I think I want to go back to school." And the guy's like, "Well, there's other jobs that'll pay you." And I was like, "Yeah, but it's not going to be. They don't pay that well."
Yeah.
You know, if I go work in the parole office and be a parole officer, I'm making less than I would have working in the prison.
Right.
You know, which was only at the time like 36 a year. Like that's pretty much nothing. Like now, especially in today's economy, my goodness. So he's like, "Well, there's other stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, but nothing pays. You know, nothing's gonna pay." And it's like the police thing really wasn't working out at the time. And I was like, man, so I'd gone to apply for some financial jobs. And obviously, because my parents brought me up to believe if you get a degree, you're good. Like,
Yes.
anyone will take you. They just want, and that's not the case. And no one's talking about that. That's the thing that kills me is nobody's talking about, like, no, you really need to pick a good degree that does things. And another thing people don't want to talk about is, like, now the bachelor's degree, everyone has one.
Yeah.
And so now they're very cheap in because everybody has a 4-year degree. So now if you want to be in a better position, you know, to where you actually stand out, you want to get it like a master's or above now. That's the new bachelor's degree. The way that my parents describe a bachelor's degree is how I would describe a master's degree now. And again, like I'd have to, you got to pick a good field here, you know, like, I mean, I don't think a master's degree in criminal justice would do me any better than what I got now. You know what I mean? So
what do you do right now?
Right now, I'm a full-time nanny.
Okay.
So
oh, that degree goes straight to that.
yes.
Criminals, put them in the jail.
Juvenile restoration.
So what is it that you want to do?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Hey, that's actually like, honestly, I don't even look bad or down upon that. You know, like sometimes people think about like, oh my gosh, the college thing didn't work out, my degree isn't working, but then like, just like, you know, sit down and like, you know, feel sorry for themselves. But actually, like when people are just like, you know what, like the door's open for a lot of things.
Right.
You know?
I'm very open to any sort of career path.
That's
pretty
awesome.
much. Like I originally did want to go into law enforcement, and I'm much too sensitive for it. I cannot.
I can't tell you how big of an adjustment it was going from a 19-year-old kid talking about, yeah, I want to be a cop, and then the first time the cell doors open and you're shoved into a room with almost 100 inmates, like I want to say like 96, full of people that are in there for a hard time. And then they say, have fun. The door shuts behind you, and now you're in charge of the cell block.
Yeah.
And
I would be weeping.
I'm a 19-year-old kid. There's no sunlight, you know, and you're the boss, and you're supposed to tell them to stand here, line up, and it was hard. It was such a hard adjustment, and for a while, it really affected my mood and my personality. I'm not gonna say like I was a hardened I was like a hardened kid with no. It was like I started getting angry and bitter at the world because of what I was seeing in there, and it was making me a bad person, I think. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a. I read a book on law enforcement, how it really brings down people's character. It makes them a worse person. And they'll take that stuff, that anger, and take it home to their families. I read all that, and I was like, man, it was tough.
I remember I spilled your beer once, and you pulled out your nightstick, and you started just like wailing
Just
on
wailing
me. And
on
I was
you.
like, why?
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I can't help
It's
it.
from when I was 19. Yeah. And I really, even in college, before I graduated, I was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I stuck with it. I went from prison to jail, which isn't much better, but there's sun, there's air conditioning, like it's a little bit better, you know.
There's there's like what 80% less crazies probably because like
yeah. Well, it just depends because they're in jail. They're coming right off the street. So if they arrest the guy doing ballerina moves in public,
but they can't keep 100 people in the jail, right?
well, not in one cell block.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think in how many is it in the cell block now? I don't remember, but yeah, it's less than the prison block for sure. I know that. So
Did you meet any really cool inmates?
no.
I don't know if anyone's cool when they. Like,
I don't know though. I think there's.
Oh, this
I
guy
think
could perform
everybody's-
magic. It was
no,
awesome.
No. Everybody has such a unique story, and that makes unique people. And I
mean,
think that
you
you would
see-
interact with.
I like the contraband. I thought the contraband was pretty interesting. Like I saw like homemade Monopoly boards. Those are really cool. Those are really cool to watch.
Get
And-
creative.
I've talked to
Yeah.
a couple people who have been in the prison, field, I guess. One of them was a prison captain. Honestly, I used to ask him. He was like an older dude. I was like, "Hey, tell me all the cool stories, Grandpa." Basically, and he's like, "No, they're like it's miserable."
They're horrible.
He's like,
You
"They're
don't wanna
absolutely
hear 'em.
terrible." Like last night, there was so much blood. Like, just, no, it's just I'm like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, no, I've seen blood. I've seen people with ropes around their neck, homemade ropes. Not they don't give them ropes, but they use their bed sheets to hang themselves. It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There were a couple times where I went back and I got into my car after the day was over and I just start crying. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
So, but I did it. I got through it. Graduated.
How long were you in law enforcement?
I've been in it for almost 10 years now.
Oh,
He's still in it.
Yeah, I'm still in it.
yeah,
I'm halfway through my career. So, yeah, I'm almost 9 years. I'm almost 10 years total into law enforcement. So,
What do you mean halfway through your career? You
Well,
end at 20?
I think it's 25 at my job.
Oh, okay.
So really, we're looking at like 12 and a half years, but I have to double check. It could be 20. My parents keep trying to say 20. I'm pretty sure it's 25. But I'm eligible to retire like in my 40s, which is really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. As long as I stick it out, which I will. Like it's dumb for me to not. I'm halfway through. Why would I stop and then just start over
something
again?
new.
Yeah.
What?
Now, what I actually want to do is I'm looking toward what I want to do after I retire. Like what I want to now. My second career, I think, should be something fun. Yeah. I definitely don't want to go back to school for something.
You want to start a podcast?
Yeah, right. By then we'll be famous, right? But I was thinking about doing something like bartending because that's a social job. You get to hang out and meet cool people and talk to them. I prefer to work in a place where I'm not like the bouncer and the bartender.
Yeah.
Where like if someone's like causing a ruckus, I got to get out from behind the bar, push them out, and then come back and like, okay, what do you want?
That sounds kind of fun, actually.
No,
That's horrible.
I'm tired of conflict. I want an easy gig now.
Okay, so there's this wonderful bar downtown Grapevine called Bellroo's or something. Tolbert's. You ever been there?
No.
Nothing but 50-year-old women go there. It's awesome. And there's like the live bands are like 80s cover bands.
Boy, if I was 5 years younger, I tell you what, that's where I'd be hanging out. I'm just kidding. Love you, babe. No, it actually does sound kind of fun, but it's too late now.
I think bartending's a great gig.
I think so too, and like they got so many cool books on it now, and I think I'd have fun with it.
Yeah.
I got some bartending stuff at home. I just need to buy a book and start learning some recipes and practicing. Because I noticed there are some bartenders where the drinks are not strong or sweet. Like they didn't pick one, so it's just like a bland beverage with not enough alcohol or not enough taste in it. So I was like, okay, let me start. If I practice now, I bet I could be pretty good by the time comes. Yeah.
My brother is a bartender, and he is a straight edge bartender. He's never drank in his life, and so he'll like be making these drinks. He always makes them way too strong because he has no idea.
Yeah.
So
I don't trust that.
I don't trust
It's like
it
a skinny
either.
chef. I'm just like,
I
nah.
don't trust it. He'll be like explaining. He's like, yeah, this beer is a little hazy. I'm like, you have no idea.
You really should be tenderizing that bar, Mr. Bard.
I'm trying. So, yeah. So you're not sure, Blythe. Are you happy? I'm sorry if this is too deep of a question. We can move on. But are you happy though with where your life's at right now? With even though college it wasn't your favorite and where you're working. And if you are, I want to hear how.
It's either a
Yes
big
and no.
yes or a big no.
I was gonna do a resounding no because I'm in a difficult season. But
That's
my
fair.
life overall, I'm very content at where it is.
Yeah, and I just mean career wise too.
Yeah.
We don't have to go into the other stuff.
But I mean, the reason I'm full time nannying is because of life's like it's just it's a good stable job right now. I don't want to raise someone else's kids. I want to raise my own kids.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
if I'm gonna be around kids, I want to be able to enforce rules and things like that. So no, I don't like where I'm. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it.
Right.
It's not where I will be for much longer.
I think I'm happy for you, though, in the fact that you got out of something that you knew wasn't going to be good for you.
Right.
So, like, yeah, I think that's a silver lining there, definitely.
By the third year in prison, I was like, I know I don't want to be here, but I felt stuck. And I was like, because I had applied to a few police departments. I didn't get in right away. So there were 3 big ones that I applied to that I didn't get hired at. And I felt so defeated. I was like, I'm going to be stuck here forever. I'm never going to get out of this prison. So
How did you?
Jail.
Isn't that a funny sentence? How am I going to get out of this figurative and literal prison? Go to jail.
Jail.
So,
You're right.
Yeah. No, let me add the context. No, I applied to, I started smaller. So I applied to work at a county jail. And from jail, at least at the time, it's actually worse now. It's more competitive. There are less openings, and the jail's so understaffed that they can't afford to promote people up. But at the time, I got in at an earlier time before all that happened. You could work in the jail, and if you passed all the tests and everything, you could move up to police work. And that's what I ended up doing. So at the time, I was like, anything to get out of prison. Anything. So I took jail. Jail is better, way better than prison. And from jail, I was able to move up to the police officer type stuff. So, and that's where I'm at now. And so now, if all goes well, my goal is to finish where I'm at now. And like I said, I'm already halfway through my career. They took the time, so my retirement's fine from prison to now. It's all in the same like account. So so I'm essentially maybe give or take 2 or 3 more years. I'm halfway through my career, and so again, I can retire in my 40s, and then I can do something fun for that second career. So that's what ended up happening.
Straight edge bartender.
Yeah. Oh no, I drank like no one's business. Like I'm going to figure out how to make a very strong coffee at some point, alcoholic coffee. Okay, so
All right.
yeah, no such thing as a straight edge in my life. So I'm just gonna be.
Oh yeah, nowhere.
I cannot lie to our audience.
Nowhere in your life, huh?
0.
No straight. Okay, never mind.
I'm sorry. Can we revisit that topic? What are you trying to? What are you implying?
And that's the
Maybe.
episode.
No, it's not. We got 9 minutes left, buddy. I want to know what you meant.
Hate mail. How about that?
Do you guys get hate mail?
Oh my gosh,
I read-
yes.
Do you like read it for
we have
podcasts?
we
No,
have
we've done it like
episodes.
twice, I think.
We have episodes dedicated to hate mail.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
And it's so
they're
good.
they're funny too. Like
They are.
legitimately, it's I don't know what's funnier, like the ones that are clever, the ones that are not clever at all.
Yeah. Some of them are just like, you suck, and I'm like,
Thanks.
yeah. I was like, thank you.
Cool.
So, yeah, no, actually, after Harry Potter, we always typically wait till the Harry Potter episode's done because that's where we get a lot of the hate. But actually, though, thanks to our audience, the hate mail has been very spread out now across all episodes. So I'm actually very happy about that. You
I
know,
want to hear all of the hate about this episode because I want to hear what people say.
If there even is hate, honestly.
I
there
say-
will be people obviously hate.
Like it's probably not as deep as you think. A lot of people are thinking like, oh my gosh, they're gonna go into like how I talk or what I look like, no, it's literally just like
you should give up on your channel.
dumb
like-
content.
that's it. That's literally it.
Some guys will type trash content. And
Like
that's it.
here's the thing, I'm kind of like a glutton for punishment. I want someone to really lay into something that we said. Like
Yeah,
I legitimately
legit.
want that to happen.
Yeah.
Just so I can say, oh my gosh, guess what this guy once said
Yeah.
about our show.
Oh, yeah.
I hate the whole like, you know what? Like everyone thinks they can make a podcast now. Just stop. I'm like, could you like put a little bit more oomph into that?
Yeah.
Like legitimately
Tell me
that
why.
tell me I'm never gonna make anything of my life. Please.
For real.
Yeah.
And like, you can't hit me with like, you should just abandon your channel. Like, we just hit 200 subscribers. Like, that's a great thing to be proud
If we
of.
stop now economically, it just doesn't make any sense.
No. Like quitting while I'm ahead. I've been told that my whole life. Quit while you're ahead. Why? That sounds great.
ahead.
Yes, thank you.
Once I start to slow down, then I'll quit.
Yeah. If our numbers
Maybe.
die, I'm only making a lot of money instead of
just-
too much money.
Everyone knows I'm just waiting for Caleb to say something, get canceled, and then
Yeah.
I come back as my other persona.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
They're like, oh man, that Caleb guy.
We're back to 2 wheels on this podcast. We're on a scooter now.
Jose will be there.
Yeah, for
Tyler.
real. Yeah, you just can't wait for me to die, can you? Yeah, I actually think sometimes I think you're waiting for me to like have a heart attack so you can just have the
No.
whole show to yourself.
Oh yeah. What would I do with it exactly? I'm like, hey
Have a
guys.
conversation with yourself.
Yeah. Actually, I
I do
do
that too often. I do this to escape from that actually.
Do you ever just like look in the mirror while you're talking to yourself and be like, you know what? I need a podcast. This is great.
I've done that. I've been like, I want to be a wrestler. Like, you know, I could be a really good wrestler, or I want to be a YouTube gamer, or a regular YouTuber, or a podcast YouTuber. Or everything. I talked to
A
my
wrestling YouTuber.
Oh my gosh, you're a genius.
A wrestling video gaming YouTuber in space with the mustache.
with a podcast.
Featuring Markiplier, yeah.
yeah. Markiplier spaceship flies by.
Oh my gosh, you're a genius.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's a problem. If you don't understand, I talk to myself way too much about all these thoughts, and it really helps to just be like, yeah, well, what do y'all think about this? And either I'm crazy or I'm onto something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think you're onto something.
I think I'm onto something.
You know, the greatest minds were not appreciated in their time. Let me tell you.
Because they didn't have podcasting.
Darn right. Darn right.
Who wasn't appreciated?
Like, think about it. How many people?
If you're gonna name anyone famous, I think they're appreciated.
But they weren't before. Like, you know how many times? If we could ask him, how many times do you think Markiplier was told to unalive himself?
Okay.
You know what I mean? I could pull up famous historical figures, but I don't read, so why would I do that? Let's talk about YouTubers.
I really don't feel like he got as bad as other people though, because here's the thing: Markiplier was always like had that humbleness to him, attached to him, where he never really cared about the numbers. Even if maybe he did at some point, but like he probably did get told that a lot. But at the same time, his goal wasn't to make a full-fledged career out of it. A lot of people do get into YouTube to make a full-fledged career out of it, and that's when they typically get hurt more, in my opinion. It's from what I've seen, from a lot of different YouTubers. So,
well, that's the thing. When people come at me, I'm like, look, this is a side gig. People are like, not everyone needs a podcast. And I was like, yeah, but everyone needs a hobby. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why. I think that's why you're right, is because like it's not going to hurt, because this is just for fun.
Yeah,
it's
like it's not hurting anyone. It's not costing really anything, because like you paid for something in your hobby. Like legitimately, you bought something. Like people do that all the time.
And you were nice enough to type it in the comments. Like that's great. I did something for you today. I added to your production.
Exactly.
You were productive today because of our show.
Give you entertainment. That's all I ever wanted to do was entertain people.
That's all I've ever wanted. Just you don't have to be nice to me.
Yeah,
I can take it.
Sure.
So
I can't.
Really.
I hate when people are mean.
What is like? That was so like
the eyes.
Real.
Yeah, the eyes were like, oh my god, tell me more.
That's why I can't be a cop.
If they're like,
yeah, I bet you the first time you tell someone, if you're a cop, the first time you told someone to have a nice day and they say, I won't, thanks.
And you're like, oh no, why won't he have a nice day?
Can you believe what this person said to me?
Seriously.
Wow.
So,
no, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, after this episode, guys, she's going straight back to Colorado. Return to shipper. Like, you're going straight back.
Do you actually live there and just visiting?
Yeah.
Or okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I'm from there, live there.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
she's a friend of my fiance, so it's pretty cool. She flew in and she's
So
hanging
you
out.
flew in for the tattoos, and you're going to fly in for the wedding. And that's
She already
it.
had the
We
tattoos.
didn't actually get matching tattoos. We already had.
You lied to me.
No,
That whole story was a
Yes.
facade.
it was.
That's the meanest thing someone's ever done to me. And that's why I hate doing this.
That's why you have trust issues.
That's why I can't take this show. I can't take people being mean to me. Honestly, I'm outie.
You and me both, brother.
No, we already had the tattoos. We just realized we had the same exact tattoo.
Yeah, and they're not exactly the same. Like hers,
It's
like
the same subject.
yeah. See, it's like Lord of the Rings, but hers has a few of the chip pieces.
And it says
Like falling out.
still sharp. Because that's what Boromir says when he pokes himself.
Well, see,
That's another
you being
spoiler.
a
I've never read or seen Lord of the Rings.
you being a self-professed. No, actually, that's going to be a thing we do. We're going to do that together
I'm
at some
saving on- I'm
point.
saving
Yeah,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's going to be a special occasion.
Don't
So
worry.
I am actually excited. So I rolled my eyes the first 3 times you said it, but now I'm at a
Now
point.
you're excited about it.
Oh yeah. Now here's the thing. So here's why I think my tattoo's cooler is because I went the subtle route, and since you're such a big Lost fan, you're like, well, interpretation. Mine leaves way more room for interpretation.
Flaring,
yeah,
bland-
yeah. Let me cut this word out.
Grander.
Yeah,
Wow.
interpretation.
Let me see it.
Could you show that
I
to
think
me?
it's I think it's more clean than mine is.
Oh,
I
see.
think
You know
mine's like a
what?
little.
I can't help it.
In the
that.
world of Lord of the Rings, I heard everything's dirty, so it's kind of not really a good representation.
Oh, you're
So-
right. I guess I should jump out of this window and live.
Oh, he always hits me with the SpongeBob.
Yeah, I have to. I have to. Well, we got a minute and a half left. What's your favorite SpongeBob episode, Blythe? Do you have a favorite one?
No, but I have a favorite SpongeBob meme.
Okay, what is it?
It's when Squidward is wiping off the loser thing from his window. Somebody like draws a picture of him and it says loser, and he's like wiping it off.
Uh-huh.
That's my favorite.
So
SpongeBob meme.
in the context, how has that been memed? What is it? What's the
Me
joke?
after I go on a tweeting rampage,
Oh.
loser, wiping them all
Yeah.
away.
Wow.
After you say something you regret. Loser.
Don't think I've ever had that issue before.
Really?
What's your favorite SpongeBob episode, Shaps?
Honestly, I just rewatched seasons 1 through 2.
You'll watch that, but you won't watch Lost.
Okay, hold on. Not the same
Apples and
ballpark.
oranges, and also I'm way more
Yeah.
entertained with SpongeBob.
Not even the same thing.
No, but time-wise, he's saying, "Oh, I can't start a new show because I don't have enough time."
Because I'm too
in my
busy
life."
watching.
I can't fit it into my very tight schedule.
See.
Listen,
I
I
see.
have the new stuff. I have the old stuff. I have a schedule. New
Yeah.
stuff, and then old stuff that I know I'm gonna like, and then like the weird stuff I don't know if I'm gonna like. Essentially.
Oh yeah, I see what
The
you mean
wild
by that.
card.
Yeah. You're so crazy, Shaps, and mysterious.
Why are you bullying me? Favorite SpongeBob episode? Gosh, I love the one. I love Handsome Squidward so much. Probably not my favorite, but I love, the talent show is really good.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a solid, and obviously the Super Bowl one is like
Yeah.
probably my favorite. Yeah,
That's probably Band Geeks. That's my favorite
Bang.
one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So epic.
Dude, the underrated one is the Valentine's Day episode. You
Oh
know,
yeah, in season 1.
so good.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I never used to see it when I was a kid. They
Because it
never
only
ran
came out once a year.
Right. It sucked.
And the holiday I couldn't even celebrate because I was 7.
And now I can rewatch it as much as I want.
Yeah.
Even though I'm going to be made fun of, apparently.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make fun of you every single
Why
day.
are you not watching Lost? Maybe because I don't want to lose my time.
They're gonna say something else.
Hilarious.
Well, you may have not
Thanks.
lost your time, but you're losing at life.
Nice.
And with that, that's the end of this show.
That's my goal.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us this week. Blythe, thanks for hopping on today. I know it was last second, and you weren't sure how you felt about it, but we're glad you hopped on.
Thank you.
How'd that hour go? Did it go by quick?
It did. It was the greatest hour of my life.
That's what I'm talking about. You hear that? You hear that, Shaps?
Right.
We made
made it.
someone's life.
We made someone's life.
All right. Well,
right.
with that, it's time to say bye, and we'll see y'all next time. Say bye, Blythe.
Bye.
Say bye,
Bye.
Shaps. Yeah, thank you. You look our audience in the eye, and you say bye.
Bye.
I'm looking at the camera lens right now.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye.
Womp.